So let's talk about bug out bags. Bug out bags are necessary because some of the time, in certain crises, it's not good to stay at home. Maybe there's a big flood and you've actually have all your prepping stuff kept at home. Hopefully not if you live in a low terrain area or near a lagoon or a swamp or something, or very low sea level. But, or if for whatever reason you have to leave your home and hopefully your prepping gear, I mean, your food and your water and stuff is kept somewhere else, like in the shelters, self-storage and all that, then you have to have some kind of supplies with you, right? You need survival supplies. So what I like to get or use rather is are those tactical backpacks, because they're really nice and big. They're a little bit bigger than your average backpack. They got a nice rectangular shape to them, so you can just fill them to the top, and it doesn't have that sort of rounding effect where it's most backpacks are kind of tapered, so as you get to the top, it gets smaller and smaller, and it's harder to pack anything substantial. Whereas the tactical backpacks are rectangular, so you can just pack things of the same size from the bottom to the top, and everything fits really well. And you don't get that tapering, that depth tapering, where again, like you have to get smaller and stuff at the top. No, it's all the same size. And especially what's useful about them is that they're mole designs, so they're modular, right? They have all those little horizontal loops in them so that you can attach any other mole gear, like supplementary water bottle, like holders, holsters, cell phone holsters, other kinds of holsters, and you could just strap them almost anywhere on the backpack, on the shoulder straps, on the sides, on the back. And or you can just get nice big camping or sport backpacks. What do we call them? Like hiking backpacks. But those are usually not mole, so you can't attach things onto them. And now, before getting into the backpack itself, you can always carry your EDC with you. Your Canadian or American EDC, which is your everyday carry utilities. And I covered this in a previous talk. But to summarize, this includes your tactical pen, your personal spy pry bar, or some kind of mini pry bar, and plenty of cash. But your amount of cash will depend on your purpose and your use. And then some kind of self-defense too. In America, you can have guns and knives. In a crisis situation, it might be a good idea to carry a non-lethal pistol like the Byrna pistol. Of course, you're not allowed to legally carry or conceal any kind of weapon in Canada, but honestly, you can have it at home. So if you're in a crisis situation, you might as well take it on you or take it with you on the street. And similar things like bear spray or pocket spray, dog spray. Now, for the backpack itself, you want to shoot at about 25 pounds or less, because you have to wear this thing a lot and you might have to travel a lot. You might have to walk a very long distance, so it has to be handleable. So 25 pounds might be good for your average male, maybe a little bit less for the average female. You want an encrypted USB stick. So encrypted USB sticks, obviously, you need them to be secure like this if your purpose is and your purpose should be, storing backups of your personal information, because if there is something like a flood, most people keep their personal information in a file system, in a cabinet, but those things are usually not waterproof, and they're, physical paper, so they can, you can't carry huge stacks of paper with you, so you keep it all digital. And so if it's obviously, it could be in your computer, You probably have a lot of personal information in your computer, but you got to carry this around with you, right? And this kind of personal information usually doesn't take up a lot of space. So a USB stick is perfect for this, because it's not like you have to take your whole desktop. You can just keep it in your pocket. And these things, some of these are really top-notch, top-notch security features with passwords that disable when you attempt them too many times. And what you want in here is basically everything. You want a copy of your passport, your driver license, your BC services card if you're in BC, or other parts of, I guess, just BC in Canada. Some medical card or care card in Canada, I guess. They have that otherwise if it's not a BC services card. Birth certificate, your SIN number, health and dental insurance if you're American, credit and debit card information, and anything else that's important to you, right? Now, the next thing is a satellite phone. Now, satellite phones are important because if, for whatever reason, the cell phone towers go down, they still work. So the satellite phone works off of the radio signal from a satellite. And they're actually, in fact, the most secure phone that you can use, even more secure than the flip phone that I was talking about in a previous talk. So the government is going to have a very hard time tracking your phone calls. If you ever need to make a private call, it's going to be very difficult for them to do this with your satellite phone. Just make sure that you have the antenna extended if it is that kind where that it comes out like that, extendable, and keep it pointed up, and avoid obstructions. You don't want to be under a really thick concrete roof or a building, a parking lot. You have to be outside to use this, or at least through a window or something. And when you use it, dial 1 before entering the number, and you should be good to go. It's very simple tool to use. It's not complicated. And you can get some good satellite phones at spysatphone.com. I'm not sponsored by them. I just know of some links that are good to use. The next thing are lighters. You need ways to start fires. This fire is extremely important. You need to cook food with fire. You gotta stay warm. So you want lots of Bic lighters and things like that. Bic lighters, as a matter of fact, they're not waterproof. So when they get wet, they stop working. So you can get waterproof cases. Some of them are really durable. You just slide the thing in, screw the cap on. Others are just like the silicone rubber that just tightens over it. They're all pretty good though. Most of them work if you spend a good amount. They're not expensive, but you don't cheap out on them. There are many ways to start a fire. You can use Swedish fire steel. You can use your laundry dryer lint as a burner. You can use flint steel, fire rope, or survival blaze. Matches, there are things called waterproof and windproof matches. And then what about water? You can carry bottled water with you, but at some point the water is going to run out, right? There's something called survival water, where they're just like 250 milliliter pouches of water. And they help you survive. It's not very much, but better than nothing. So that's why the next important thing is a water filter, a portable water filter that allows you to drink from streams and rivers and lakes. And it's amazing that they have these. I didn't know that they had these. But one of the best examples is a serve filter. That's serve spelt with a U instead of an E. So a serve filter, you can drink from streams and lakes with this thing. And I know of a guy who has used them for a while in different applications, and it works all the time and doesn't cause any problems. Another thing you can carry are Chlorflock, chlorine water filter pouches. And it's just like this powder that you put in your water. I guess it's like a combination of boiling the water, then putting this stuff in. I haven't used it, but something like that. And the next thing is a manual knife sharpener. Because if you're going to carry, well, you should have some kinds of utility knives with you, because you need knives to, cut rope and medical gear, fix ties, tents, maybe even use or carve things. So a knife sharpener is good. A manual knife sharpener is good. That won't let you down. And then for power, you need solar powered power bank. And some of these look like, they look like they're the size of a big iPhone or something, but they're folded. And when you unfold them, you get, something like 4 or 5 of these panels. And one of them, I guess, is the solar, and the rest are these power banks, and you can charge your phone and other things with it. And of course, you need a first aid kit, a proper one, not just a box of Band-Aids. And the first aid kit will have, your snippers for the medical tape and all the stuff you need. So get a proper first aid kit. And with regards to internet, there's something called the Mini Starlink satellite internet dish. It's about the size of a tablet, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe the size of a laptop screen. But it, it just requires something like a solar powered bank, or a separate. You can also get a battery for power too, to power this thing up. A small battery, like a car battery, but not quite as big as that. And this connects to your phone, and you use it with an app, and you can find reception that way. And you can get this at spysatphone.com. The next item is a paper map. It can be useful to have a paper map when services run out. There's no internet. Your phone doesn't work, GPS isn't working, you don't have power. And take your survival food with you. And the kind of knives you want, utility knives or rescue knives. They'll have, I guess they'll have a bottle opener usually, and serrated edge and different parts to it. And then a similar tool is a multi-tool. And then this is basically pliers and some other things. It's folded usually in 2 parts, and you unfold it, you get the pliers, and you fold it again, you get something else. A flashlight, of course, those are extremely useful at night. If you have to stay in a forest somewhere, then you gotta see. So a crank flashlight is actually really good because that doesn't require batteries. A small mess kit is essentially your eating bowl. It's like a steel bowl and some other layers to it that allow you to boil and to support this bowl too. You might have a tripod to it or some kind of support. If you have bigger bags, you can carry, portable. You might be able to carry a portable, stovetop, single element stovetop. Emergency blankets are good. They keep you warm and they're compact. And tube tents. So tube tents are obviously useful too, because you need shelter and they're very compact. So you can keep all that in your backpack. But if you have, lastly, a bug out container, like a shipping container, that is a number of meters long, and if you've ever done warehousing, you know what I'm talking about. The kinds of containers that fit on the back of semi-trucks. They come in all sorts of different sizes. If you do have one and it's renovated and ready for living, then you'll head over to that, and then that's your shelter. So that's a really nice, luxurious way to live compared to just tenting for a whole month or so. So there you go. That is the top dozen or so things that you must have, necessities of your bug out bag. Stay prepared, invest in your safety, and I'll see you later.